What's going on, everybody? Who's ready to get this thing fertilized now? Got my trusty Let's Go 50-pound custom spray painted rig there behind me. In that, I have 15.5 pounds of my X-Green. That's what I'm using this year. I'm sorry you can't get it anymore. It's some hot freaking crap. I love it. I'm gonna be sad when my stockpile behind me in the shed is gone, but that's gonna give me a 1/4 pound of nitrogen per 1,000 square feet over my 5,000 square feet, and that is the perfect rate for putting down after a post scalp. 6% of that 8% nitrogen is ammoniacal nitrogen. What does that mean? It is ammonium sulfate. The rest of it is derived from the chicken litter. So it is a good fast release product, and I am using a granular and not a foliar because even though I have tons of green on my from when I did my scalp, there's still a lot of brown, and that brown is dormant and dead. And what's that not do with a foliar fertilizer? Absorb it. So I could technically probably get away with it, but I'm not going to get the benefits down from the root absorption as I will with this granular. Plus, we have a lot of thunder showers coming in the late afternoon right now, so it's the perfect opportunity for a nice granular application because I don't have to water it in. Mother Nature's doing that for me. I have the spreader setting about 12. The prill size on this is greens grade, so it goes down great, gets below the canopy. None of that big fat chunky nasty crap that then just sits on the leaves, gets a little mist in the water, then burns your crap to the ground. Don't know who's doing that though. So let's get started on this, and it shouldn't take long with this bad boy because with my lawn, this 50-pound Let's Go is a little bit of an overkill. There we go, we are complete. Got a 1/4 pound of nitrogen down from the X-Green. Now, what if I didn't have X-Green? What would I use? I would use any other granular fertilizer that had a source from ammonium sulfate or even ammonium nitrate for a fast release to get this to pop. Now, why didn't I go higher than a 1/4 pound? Well, I've been using X-Green for a couple years, and X-Green, I refer to it as like the PGR buster. If you over apply X-Green, it will break through any growth regulation, well, with T-Nex anyway. I've had that happen before, and it will just, this aggressive growth. And so I never go over a 1/4 pound of N per 1,000 square feet ever with X-Green. I did in the beginning where I did a 1/2 pound, and I learned my lesson. And especially since I want this to recover so it's not under growth regulation, it's just going to explode that top growth way more than I want it to, and way more that I can keep up with right now, especially with the weather, because time this perfectly, we have rain moving in about 39 minutes. So I'm good to go. What about the bluemuda though? What have I been doing differently? Well, honestly, not much. This 1/4 pound of N per 1,000 has now brought me up to, let me do some quick math, I'm looking at 1.16 pounds of nitrogen per 1,000 square feet for the year. There's people that are putting that down or more in single applications, and that's frankly ridiculous. If you're putting that much down, you're going to be mowing all the time, you're going to be growth regulating all the time. I'm been trying to keep on top of my growth regulation, and outside of me missing the reapplication interval due to being out of town for medical reasons, I missed it. So it's going to go down again here in probably the next 2 to 3 days. It's all going to be based on what I see going on in the lawn. But for bluemuda specifically, the challenges you're going to face, and that I've faced here, is the KBG's prime growth season is spring and fall. Bermuda's the summer. I can push it pretty good in the spring, so that's when I did my initial application of X-Green, the MFT, the equalizer that I've been using. I haven't used it in a while just due to time constraint issues, plus I wanted to just slow things down from growing so fast due to the time I've had available, or lack of time I've had to spend out in the lawn. So I've dialed my fertilization way back, and right now also is for the summer, because I don't want to push excessive top growth with the KBG, which can just increase its chances for injury, disease, and just running problems, especially with the heat and humidity, because it's a freaking humid day again. So dialing back the fertilizer in the summer, which is, you know, you're not supposed to do that, or at least people say you're not supposed to do that, or Bermuda is supposed to hammer it down at 1 pound of N a month. Nope, I'm keeping it right on a schedule of around a 1/4 pound every 6 weeks. And my liquid applications with equalizer, that's given me just a tiny amount. I think it's like 0.0015 pounds of N per 1,000. I'll put a little correction there because I don't have the math with me on the top of my head, but I've only been running the 4 ounce per 1,000 rate of product, and that's 4 ounces of the soluble powder mixed in. So that's where I am for the summer with the bluemuda fertilization. For the fall, I will ramp it up again, probably mid-September, to get kind of one good final push. And I'm probably going to end up overseeding everything since I have a ton of KBG seed left. So we'll factor in some fertilization for that as well. But fertilization, not doing anything different other than the fact that I fertilize differently than most people with a Bermuda lawn that are hammering down 50 to 60 freaking different products. Not really that many, but they're throwing down tons of crap. And I keep it simple. NPK, some micros, some iron, little peptides in there for a pick-me-up. Made me grow an extra inch. I found that out. I'm actually 6'2" now. Don't know how that happens, but I'm gonna brag about it. But that's what I do. I keep it simple, and it works. Looks like crap now because I just scalped it, but we'll see how it looks here in a couple weeks. We are not even 1 week later. I scalped it last Saturday. Today's Sunday. The fertilizer went down on Monday. And look at this, almost completely filled back in. How awesome is that? And that was only with a 1/4 pound of nitrogen. So up next, I'm getting ready to mow again for the second time since I did this mid-season scalp. I'm then going to follow that up with some growth regulator. So be sure to hit the subscribe button and ring the bell so you get notified when that growth regulator action's coming out. It's going to be worth it. And so here we are, fertilization after the scalp. Hope y'all enjoyed it. Mike, Real Old Dad, we'll see you.